procrastination is really a tough one. I'm someone who's extremely motivated. I love working on projects. I would say excitement is my default emotion. I really spend a lot of time there. And those projects really make me happy, really, truly. So working on them is my happy place. Despite all of that, I still run into situations where I just don't feel like doing it. Even if it's something that I love doing, I can get to that burnout state. Or most certainly I can get to the point where I am no longer excited about working on stuff that I don't want to do. And so that can drag me down, and then I don't even work on the stuff that I do want to do. So hopefully I can work with you on some of the solutions that I've found, and I'm also going to be performing a couple of activations to see if that can help you. So let's get started. Let's start with ADD a little bit. This is one that a lot of people suffer with, and especially if you were born at a certain time when they started diagnosing it. When I was a kid, that didn't exist. There was no such thing as ADD. But I see it more and more now, and here's how I want to explain it to you. ADD happens when children especially are in school and they don't want to do their schoolwork. They can't pay attention to the teacher. That's usually where it starts. Well, when I was a kid, when someone was like that, they were just lazy, right? So at least there's some sort of diagnosis for it now. But I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing either, because when we diagnose something, it means we want a cure for it. Oh, I have to get over my ADD. I have to transcend my ADD. Here's the thing. I don't think it's a disease. I don't think there's anything wrong with you at all, because I prescribe to the idea that if we follow our highest excitement, we will always be led down a synchronistic path. Okay, so if you have discovered that there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't interest you at all, especially starting in school, but you still have it today, even outside of school, and you say, yuck, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do my taxes, I don't want to do all these things that I know I should do. I just can't work up the interest to do it. Well, I believe that that this ADD thing is the opposite of following your highest excitement. When you experience that, you are likely, not everybody's like this, but I think a lot of people are, you are likely not following your highest excitement. You are not doing the thing that you're supposed to do in this life. You are not following a synchronistic life path. So the first thing I really want you to do is to look at the things that you're procrastinating doing. Maybe make a list of all the things that you think you should be doing, or maybe even that you would like to do, but you find yourself procrastinating them. List it all out and take a look at that list really carefully and say, okay, is there something in here that I am excited to do? Normally, under normal circumstances, whatever that means, I would be excited to do it. Or is it everything is just, no way, this is all junk, I have no interest in any of this stuff? Then ask yourself, why did you put it on the list? Why is it that you think that thing is really important for you to do? Is it because you think that you should be responsible, that you should get a job or earn money, even though that it's doing something that you don't want to do? Maybe it is going to school or going to college. Maybe it is doing this stupid job that you don't like, that's only you think is temporary. This could really truly be an indication that you are not following your life's path. And it's really important to take a good hard look at that. And also notice if you're doing things because you think you should, or you think that's the only option. Because a lot of times we do make those choices and we go, well, I have to go to college, there's no other way. Or I have to take this stupid job in order to pay this bill, or in order to continue to live in this place. And if you start to have those kinds of excuses, then I want you to take another step back and go, do I really need to live in that place? Do I really need to go to school or go to college? Really make absolutely sure this is something that you have to do. Could it be that you could take a completely different life path and do something that nobody thinks that you should do? Are you trying to fulfill the wishes of your parents or your teachers or your peers or your bosses? Make sure that this is truly what you want to be doing. because I feel that most of the time, the reason that we're procrastinating is because there's something inside that's saying, no, don't do this. It's not in your best interest. It is not following your highest excitement. It will not lead you down a synchronistic path. Okay, so let's move on from there. Let's say that there are things on your list that you are excited about doing, that you would like to actually accomplish. And you look at that and you say, well, there's 10 things on my list, but items number 6 and 7, they're pretty exciting. But it really doesn't make sense for me to do those because I've got all these other things that really should be done first. And so as a result, you're doing none of the list because you're not even doing the things that you really want to do. You're avoiding all of it because you have this blockage saying that you need to do these other things that you don't want to do first. Well, here's an obvious solution to that. Pick one of them and break it down. Maybe one of them is a big task. Maybe it is do your taxes. And when you look at that, you go, oh my gosh, there's so much involved in that whole tax thing. Well, maybe break that one down a little bit. What's the first thing that you have to do to do your taxes? Oh, I got to find my W-2s. Okay, put that on the list. Oh, and I've got to download the latest tax software. Or I've got to compile this information here, this write-off that I'm going to have to do. Try to write it all out, just the 10 things or 5 things that you have to do your taxes. This is a huge accomplishment. If you create this list, celebrate because you have finally done something. You're not just sitting around looking at your list or imagining your list in the back of your head. You've actually created 2 lists by this point. You've made the list of all the things that you think you need to do, and then you've also made a list of the first thing that you think you need to do, and you've broken it down. Good work. Now look at that first item on the list and go, could I do this just right now? Like right now, just do the one thing. That's it. I'll go back to eating some cheese or some cookies or watching a show or whatever that you find yourself, or scrolling through TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. Just do one thing on the tiny list. I will guarantee you that some large percentage of the people who do the first item on the list, the small list, the taxes list, for instance, will end up going, okay, well, I found the W-2s. I might as well go ahead and start to put it together and move on to task number 2. And the next thing you know, your taxes will be done. Okay, so now you say, holy cow, talk about celebration. Now can you look at your list and go, well, there's items 6 and 7 that I really want to do, but I haven't done 2, 3, 4, and 5 yet. But guess what? You just did number 1. Go ahead and take a look at number 6. Maybe go ahead and reward yourself by doing a little bit of that one. See what happens? You chip away at it. And if anything, even if you don't go ahead and do those exciting tasks, if you've accomplished number 1 or even half of number 1, call it a day. You did it. Tomorrow, you'll do the same thing. You'll do a few subtasks of one of the items. And maybe eventually you'll just do 1 task a day, 1 full complete task per day. And then all of a sudden, those 10 tasks will be done in less than a week. And you will feel amazing because you've done it. Going back to, I don't want to do any of these things because they're not my highest excitement. I would highly recommend that you watch another video where I go into some detail about how to figure out what your highest excitement is. And I'll leave a link. Actually, I'll make it appear above right here so you can watch that. Okay, I'll probably put a link in the description below too. All right, so that's kind of some basics on how to accomplish some of those things that you just don't want to do. Maybe there's something else too. Maybe there's something that you are excited about, and maybe watching a video about it or just doing a little bit of research about it is something. Maybe you've been wanting to learn how to paint or learn how to play an instrument. And you feel like, ugh, I don't want to get the paints out and I don't want to get the stuff out and I don't know what I'm doing, and like you can't get yourself to even take those first steps. Well, if you are watching YouTube right now, which you are, then maybe doing something on your phone or on your computer is not that bad of a thing. Maybe that is something that you wouldn't procrastinate. So you might as well watch a video about that thing. Watch a painting video or watch a musical instrument video. The basics of how to play the instrument or to do the painting. When you do something like that, then the next thing you know, you are combining the two things. You're doing the thing that's pretty easy, like watching a video. And then you're actually making progress on that thing that you really truly want to do. That's a huge step. And once again, celebrate that. Here's the thing. We often beat ourselves up so much that we don't take the time to celebrate ourselves for having done even the little things. The more that you surround the thing that you didn't want to do with positive emotions, a reward experience, an acceptance, an optimism, an excitement. Hey, I did the thing. A gratitude. Wow, I'm really grateful that I did the thing. Now I don't have to do so much of the thing anymore. And maybe even an unconditional love for the things or yourself for doing it. This will make it easier and easier for you to do the things that you don't want to do. And again, pepper them. Do a little bit of what you don't want to do a lot of what you want to do. Then do a little bit of what you don't want to do, and then a whole heck of a lot of what you want to do. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. When it happens to me, usually it comes as a big wall. I've been working really hard for a really long time, like weeks and weeks and weeks in a row, and then finally one day I just go, wow, I can't do it anymore. I got to take a huge break. And then I end up doing that sort of thing where I'll watch videos or I'll just, make my favorite food or whatever. Like I'm just not interested in doing those things. And sometimes it just takes time for that to pass. Sometimes I can trick myself into doing it, but sometimes I just have to lounge around for a few days or a week. And then eventually something will ignite my excitement and I'll be right back to it. I did do another video, and I'm going to link that one also. And it's a cool one because it talks about procrastination and it talks about motivation. And while I was working on that video, I was in one of those states where I wasn't very, very motivated. And I did an activation. It's like a motivation activation. And so as with any video that I do, of course, I have to rewatch it to make sure something's not all screwed up in it. And so I rewatched it and then I participated in the motivation activation. And oh my gosh, I was all of a sudden excited to do things. It brought it all back. So I really do think that the activations can help. So we're going to do a couple of activations here that'll hopefully make a difference for you. So go ahead and close your eyes. And take a nice big deep breath. And relax as you exhale. Feel yourself sinking into the chair that you're sitting in. I want you to picture yourself being active, doing something that you don't want to do. I just pictured you mowing the lawn. Maybe some of you are putting off mowing the lawn or doing some sort of gardening work. So go ahead and picture yourself doing it. Oh, here's one. Look at it as though this is a clone of you, and you get to sit back as the clone of you does all the work. Like you can just smile and relax as the clone does all this stuff. It's pretty great. So keep watching this version of you doing all of this work. I mean, they're really working hard. And they're even enjoying it. Like, don't look at it as they're a miserable wreck, right? Look at it as though they're like, yeah, I'm accomplishing this, and I'm accomplishing this. I'm living up to my potential. I'm doing all of these amazing things. Wow, look at me, everybody. Everybody who didn't believe in me, including myself, I didn't believe in me. Now look at that version of you kicking ass. And now look at the version of you that's just observing. Like, uh-oh, wait a minute. This one that you were enjoying a second ago, where you were lounging about while the other version of you was toiling away, all of a sudden, it kind of looks like that toiling version of yourself is actually more fun than the lounging version of yourself. The toiling version of yourself is actually accomplishing things, and he or she is enjoying it. Wouldn't it be nice to be that version of you? So what I want you to do is move your consciousness from looking at that version of yourself to being inside that version of yourself. So you're going to slowly look out your own eyes, the worker. The way my activations work is I'm going to say breath in. And when I do, you'll take a nice big deep breath, you'll hold it at the top, and then I'm going to make an explosive sound, and then you can exhale. So don't be surprised. So picturing yourself moving from your current version, your loungy version of yourself, into the hard-working, happy version of yourself. Breath in. Oi! Good. Okay, so now you're doing all this stuff. You're accomplishing the things that you've been wanting to do, that you would think you would be motivated to do even, but they haven't been. And now you're just kicking ass and doing all of this stuff. And I want you to silently say, repeat it in your head just over and over again. It is easy and fun for me to accomplish all of my tasks. So keep repeating, it is easy and fun for me to accomplish all of my tasks. Just keep repeating that silently in your head. Keep repeating it. Breath in. Oh! Good. Okay. So now you're just kicking ass and doing all this stuff. Eyes still closed. Just relax as you're currently sitting there and see yourself accomplishing all of that great stuff. And when you're ready to kick ass and take names, to feel that motivation, to find all the energy that you need in order to accomplish those things, when you're ready for all of that, then you can open your eyes. All right, congratulations. It's time to kick some ass. I would also say that you should download another activation off of my website. I have an Energy Boost activation that can really couple really nicely with this, and you can download that with a link in the description below. So, okay. So good work on that. Thanks so much for participating in that activation and listening to this video. I really do enjoy making these because I want to really make a big difference for everybody who watches it. And you can do me a favor by subscribing and by liking the video and commenting and tell me how it felt. How did it feel when you took yourself down the path of being that individual, being yourself as a motivated version of yourself? Did you see it? Did you feel it? And how do you feel now after the activation? If you were to say out loud, it is easy and fun for me to accomplish all of my tasks. If you were to say that out loud right now, how does it feel to say it? Do you have some confidence behind it? Does it feel good? Does it feel like you're telling the truth? I'm hoping that it does. If it doesn't, let me know also. And there are some activations that we can do that'll have to be more directed specifically to you. These were global activations, and they probably work for 70-75% of the people. But the other 25% need a little bit more focused attention and specific to them activations. And we can do that in a one-on-one session or whatever. You can find more information about that on my website. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you get something out of it. And I'm really excited. And I really hope that you'll tell me how it goes for you now. Come back to this video or find me on Facebook and let me know, hey, it worked For a couple days, I felt better. For a couple weeks, I felt better. For the rest of my life, I felt better. I hope so. Thanks so much again for watching. I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.